We already know what the problem is. Lots of open positions and not enough talent to fill those positions. So today, I'm going to give you solutions. I'm going to give you ideas and show you ways to incorporate them immediately. I'm going to take you down a journey that I've been on the last 8 months, doing a lot of research, trying to find the secret. And along my journey, I've interviewed a ton of people: chief product security officers, CISOs, CTOs, internal HR recruiting managers, external recruiting companies. I have reached out to university professors and community and technical college teachers, K-12 STEM and STEM specialists. I've attended multiple webinars, and I've even done my own polls and studies on LinkedIn. And let me tell you what I've found. OT security needs a rebrand, because if I had $1 for every time I was asked, what is OT? I probably could take my family on an all-inclusive, fully paid trip. So it's February 2023. You all didn't know it, but everyone in this room can add a title to your resume: OT Security Ambassador, or OT Security Evangelist. Take your pick. But if people don't know what OT security is, how are they going to know if they want a career in it? So along my journey, there were 3 things that kept reoccurring, and those are the 3 things that I'm going to share with you today. The keys for success include creating a culture that has a passion for security, finding non-traditional talent from unexpected career paths, and creating programs that train, upskill, and offer mentorships for your current employees. It wasn't a surprise to me when I saw this in the news headlines, because our leadership at Rockwell Automation have really worked hard to create a passionate security culture. They really encourage and reward and recognize people who speak up and want to change. Just because we've been doing something this way doesn't mean that we can do it better. In fact, we even have innovation challenges with major in-house recognition programs and rewards. It really does start from top down with the security culture, but it also starts with you. It's important to note that last fiscal year during the talent shortage, our Office of Product Safety and Security team grew by 225%. And let me tell you, there's something really unique. As I was interviewing people, I learned a lot of companies have quick hire, quick fire. And we don't do that at Rockwell. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. We get a very diverse group of leaders and team members on that hiring panel, so that we're all looking for different skill sets. We're coming in from a different lens, a different perspective. And one other really neat thing that we do when we're looking for talent is we don't keep the specifics on the person's background. Instead, we're looking at what transferable skills might the individual have that would allow them to be successful on our team, and we can teach them the rest. Let me show you an example. So on our PSAR team, Product Security Incident Response team, if we have an opening, we might really consider bringing on a sourcing manager. And we would look at the transferable skills that a sourcing manager would bring to the team. Specifically, let's look at what happened during COVID. How did they handle their communication with their team, with their vendors? How are they evaluating their vendors? What do their reporting metrics and tracking statuses look like? These are all transferable skills needed for a job on the PSAR team. And then the panel would evaluate their temperament, their adaptability, which also came very close to the word passion in my interviews. Adaptability. We know that our industry is changing as we speak right this moment. And so you need to find someone who's not only passionate for security, but adaptable. And then, of course, there's SKI, the skills, knowledge, experience, and education. We, again, don't restrict our candidates to a specific background. I would challenge you to look into other industries and see where you can find talented individuals who might just be looking for a different career. I happen to be a non-traditional OT security team member. You would never know, but my background, my bachelor's degree is in a hospitality, restaurant, and tourism management. I can make a very mean flambe, and if you would like to discuss that after this talk, I'm happy to. I interned with a major brewing company in the state of Wisconsin, and with those two skill sets, it's helped me be proactive in my job as a communications and awareness manager for our Office of Product Safety and Security team. Those marketing skills that I learned from the brewing company on logos, branding, imagery, colors, how an adult learner remembers things easier so that you minimize the gap between new and review. I also learned event planning skills from my undergrad. So when we put on events in-house, it allows me to make them more memorable. But I quickly decided that I wanted something more challenging. So I went back to school and got my master's in career and technical adult education. And I did some teaching in the technical schools, and that skill set has taught me the adult learning theories and adult learning principles. And I went into the medical field, and I started teaching EPIC, which is a computer system that inpatient providers type on the computer when you go to the hospital. Now, I don't have a medical background. I'm not a nurse. I'm definitely not a doctor. But I was taught how to use the software, and we did a major upgrade at one of the #1 trauma hospitals in the state of Wisconsin. It was only then that I was looking for a different change, and I went into IT and became an IT business solutions analyst, and I very much enjoyed it. Again, not a technical formal training background. And I'll never forget the day that the CTO came up to me and said, Andi, we've got this thing called phishing. We like what you're doing in IT, but we need you to come over to security because we need to let people know that they are after our electronic medical records, and we need to build an awareness program. And I thought, phishing? I like fishing. Pan fishing mainly, like bluegill and perch. But then I quickly realized, oh, this is with a PH. I learned who the industry leaders were. I networked, I taught myself it, and I'm proud to say that I pioneered the very first cybersecurity awareness training program for a Tier 1 trauma unit in the state of Wisconsin. It was then that Rockwell Automation said, hey, we see you, come on over here. And so I left the medical world and went into manufacturing. And the only manufacturing background that I had was that one little stint between high school and when I went off to college, and I worked at MEC, Mayville Engineering Company. It's a little metal factory, and I worked a punch press, so I thought, okay, I can do this. I went to Rockwell. I managed their IT cybersecurity awareness program for 5 years, absolutely loved it. And it was then that my CISO announced that she was going to be retiring. And a couple of my leaders said, Andi, now might be the time for you, if you're looking for a career change with your skill set, to go from IT to OT. And again, that's when I said, what is OT? So a year in March, I will be on the OT security team. And it's a huge thanks to my leaders who have been guiding me along. And so I challenge you to look into your own networks. Think about your own community, your own people who are maybe looking for that career change. I didn't know these jobs existed, and I relied on my mentors and my leaders to guide me based on my skill set. And maybe I didn't have the confidence or the voice then, and they helped lift me into the new roles that I'm in today. So be that ally, be that advocate for someone. Find your Andi Kittelson out there and give them the opportunity like I've had. Now, where am I going to find an Andi Kittelson? Great question. I'm going to show you 4 different ways. We're going to start in the academic world. So I love this quote by Holly from the University of Wisconsin-Stout, and she says, universities and academic institutions are a powerhouse of talents ready with innovative ideas. Industry partners who support mentoring and internships will capture these candidates early on. We have a global academic team at Rockwell Automation, and they partner with universities and the academic world on internships, funding. We bring them in for early career programs. I challenge you to go back to your alma mater and get on the advisory board. They are looking for experts to help with curriculum, so you can help make sure that these students who are graduating are ready for the industry once they cross that stage. Something really neat within Rockwell is we have what's called an EDGE program. So we reach out to students and or grads within 1 to 2 years of experience, and we have a leadership development program. So we bring them in-house. It's a rotational, hands-on training, and it gives them an opportunity to excel. You learn by the book, and it's different when you're on the job. So it gives them a step up. Some requirements: you have to have a 2.75, 3.0 is preferred, and demonstrated leadership capabilities through community engagement. So this is where, again, reach out to your alma mater and find out who needs a mentor. Be a mentor to that student. Something I really like that we do really well is create career paths. Again, if we don't know what the job is, how are we going to know if we want to do it? So we lay out some awesome career paths, and we introduce it to the students by saying, hey, do you have a passion for designing and developing products? Do you like to repair, test, take products to their limits and problem solve? Then after this program, you might be a software developer or a firmware developer or a hardware developer. Lots of different options, but a lot of times students don't even know what those options are. Here's another example of a career path: digital transformation, analytics, and information technology. Do you thrive in an environment focused on combining human intelligence, the power of data, and potential of technology? Then you could be a software engineer, or a data analyst, or a data scientist. These are all buzzwords for those students to say, oh, I might be interested in that. And they might say, I am passionate about optimizing the use of products and technology in the context of a broader system. Yes, that is me. And so they'll go into this program and afterward have the opportunity of one of these careers. Now let's look at some things that we do in-house. Personally, these have really helped me. When I started at Rockwell Automation, my director said, Andi, I want you to go and get involved in some ERGs. I've worked for companies that don't have ERGs, employee resource groups. And now that working with Rockwell, they have so many ERGs to choose from, I really see the benefit in them. So my director had said, Andi, I want you to get involved in the Professional Women's Council and Women in the Field. And I said, well, wait a minute, I'm not a woman in the field. And he said, that's okay, go and be an ally, go listen. You're gonna learn really quick what it is that Rockwell does and what we're doing out there. And I learned a lot, I networked a lot, I made a lot of relationships, and I learned very quickly what other people were doing within Rockwell Automation. So something else that's neat about this is when the ERGs come to me and say, hey, Andi, can you give us a presentation on blank? I say, sure, and I kick it off and say, hi, I'm part of the Office of Product Safety and Security family, and then they say, what? What is the Office of Product Safety and Security family? What do you guys do? How do you do that? And so it's me evangelizing to other people that maybe didn't know what our department was, where we were, how to find us. And you might be surprised how many people in the different ERGs are just looking for that career pivot. And now you've given them a little light bulb to say, maybe. Other ways that we're engaging internally. We have monthly virtual lunch and learns, and these are for Rockwell Automation Nation. So we open them up house-wide. And I'm gonna start to pull metrics to find out who is attending the lunch and learns that doesn't have security in their job title. Because those are people that I might want to reach out to and say, hey, I see you attending our lunch and learns. What else do you want to know? Or how else do you want to get involved? Because those folks might be looking for a career change. Same goes with our Rockwell Automation University, RAU. We have a lot of courses in there, and I want to know who's taking courses voluntarily that do not have security in their title. And you would be surprised. Go to your HR or your training managers and ask them to pull reports on your security courses. We're going to be kicking off a security summit this spring, and that is heavily deep dive target information, only for our subject matter experts. And we also are working on a micro series. So I have not figured out how to pause time. When I do, I'll bring that next year to S4. But currently, time, we want to learn, we're so hungry, but there's just not enough time in the day. So I've challenged my subject matter experts on my team to give me 3-minute or less videos. And what that 3-minute or less video needs to be is something that's happening currently in the wild. What do we want our end users to know, or what are the current buzzwords? And then you throw out the teaser, very organic. Literally take your phone, wherever you're comfortable, record yourself in it, and post it. So we have a streams channel that these videos will live on. And we'll advertise them on our Yammer channel and during the Lunch and Learn. But it will be great to be able to pull metrics from to see who's watching the micro series. And then we'll link it to our SharePoint page where they can go in for more information. But I think everybody can give you 3 minutes of their time. Some of the things that we're doing to identify non-traditional talent: we do some hackathons in the community. Next week is Engineers Week. So next week we have some awesome events with Capture the Flags going on. We have 2 scheduled, one internally, and you can get some really good metrics because, again, we'll offer that Capture the Flag Rockwell Automation Nation. And so who is playing and participating in the Capture the Flag event that doesn't have security in their title? Those are the folks that you want to reach out to. And then externally, we're working with the Handshake campaign. Handshake works with HR and schools, and so colleges will be competing. And that's going to be some great metrics that we're going to be able to get, because it'll show us who are those high-achieving students, who's hungry for security, who's excited about security. And those are the folks that we want to go after and say, hey, would you like an internship? Do you want to come and be part of the early programs that we have available? And then get into the community. And if you're not familiar with any of these, go ahead and take out your phone and take a picture of this. I challenge you before you go home that you get involved in a community that makes you a little uncomfortable. You're going to grow so fast. And let me tell you, allies carry so much power. Maybe you're going to be giving the voice to someone who doesn't have the confidence. And we're always looking for allies. I started out in women in technology. I somehow ended up on the board, but let me tell you, I absolutely love Women in Technology Wisconsin, and I'll tell you why. When we host live events, you have a couple hundred people there. Maybe there's people who have lost their job because of the big tech shortages. These are people who have talent, and they're transferable skills that we can teach them the OT security side. Maybe there's somebody just looking for a career change, or maybe somebody knows somebody who's looking for a career change. So get involved with external groups. And then, of course, the Veterans Program. And I'm going to go into detail on this in a little bit. But this quote here: there are currently nearly 20 million veterans in the United States and nearly 250 individuals who transfer out of military service and back into civilian life every year. So let me come back to those veterans. I want to talk about the programs that we have and how we're training, upskilling, and offering mentorships to our new and current employees. Something really awesome that Rockwell does is back in 2017, we partnered with Manpower Group, and we created the Academy of Advanced Manufacturing. And what was really cool is this program provides veterans the skills to succeed in advanced manufacturing roles. They find meaningful employment and helps tackle the critical skills shortage that we're currently experiencing. We are rapidly upskilling them in less than 4 months, and I am happy to say that over 80% of our graduates have been placed in career advancing roles. And now again, 250,000 veterans. And that doesn't include their circle of people that they're going to be bringing. So this is a great pocket that we need to be tapping into, and the best way to honor a veteran is to hire one. And mark your calendars, because July 25th is National Hire a Vet Day. Something really cool that Rockwell does is all of our veterans are provided with a mentor. And I think that that's exceptional. Now, despite the generous employment packages and bonuses that are out there, no employee will stay forever if the job feels like a dead end. So how do we challenge our employees at Rockwell? Well, we have a 70-20-10 plan, and managers are required to check in with their employees every quarter at a minimum. And 70-20-10 plan goes back to adult learning theory. So the adult learning theory that you learn 70% on the job, 20% from shadowing, and 10% of formal training. So with this 70-20-10 plan, you have to create goals. You have to create a career track. And as a leader, you can very quickly see, is this person challenged? Is this person bored? Where is their career track? Where do they want to be? Where are their interests based on the goals that you make? And if someone starts to fail or fall behind, remember earlier I said we aren't quick hire, quick fire. We bring big group panels for the interview processes. So while I'm well aware sometimes that puzzle piece just doesn't fit and you might have to let them go, it's also good to step back and say, somebody on that diverse panel thought they had talent. So we've spent a lot of time and money on this individual. How can we move them into a different fit? And the sooner you figure that out, the better. We also have a Connected Leaders Academy, and this gives an opportunity for certain groups to network and get actual sponsors that will guide them to the leadership career that they are interested in. If you become part of the Connected Leaders Academy, it automatically is built into your 70-20-10 plan. Now, I say we're paving the path as we grow because just a week or two ago, we opened up more positions on our Office of Product Safety and Security team. So if you want to come work with our family, there are openings out there. But the career paths, the awesome career paths that I showed you for the college, we don't have that on our team yet. We're still building it. The road is a gravel-paved driveway, and we're hoping to get it locked in. But I can tell you that the short and long-term goals is really helping us define what opportunities are there for career growth within our team. So every year, each employee creates 3 to 5 business performance goals and 1 to 2 development goals. And I know you're all thinking, but wait, what do you do for your internal team? So of course we do all kinds of different things depending on what your role is on the Office of Product Safety and Security team. But in general, we have the RA University. We have Security Journey. So we utilize the security belts from Security Journey. Our Capture the Flags that we're going to be pushing out next year for Engineers Week is courtesy of our partnership with Immersive Labs. And then InfoSec Institute, SANS Institute, conferences such as S4. A lot of my team members are here and a lot of them aren't. So when we get back to Milwaukee or wherever our homes are, we come back as a team, we're going to share what we've learned and continue to share the knowledge. Cybrary courses, Udemy, and Pluralsight are awesome resources, and many of them are free. The thing I like about them is you can filter them down on your skill level, what your certification requirements or needs are, your path, your discipline. So those are all great resources, but it's important that you know it's not one and done. Just like when you went to school or you went for your certification or you went for training, it wasn't like you took an hour training, you're like, oh, see you next year. It's not how it works. We have to always be upskilling. So it's been a wild journey, and I'm sorry to say it's not over. We can connect after and continue to brainstorm and work together, but our OT security is changing so fast, it's a fun challenge to try and keep up with. But I hope that you remember the 3 skills that I've shared with you. Create a passionate culture of security. Look for non-traditional talent in unexpected career paths. And create training programs by upskilling and mentor your current employees. Like I said, I'm a non-traditional IT security employee. And I want to really thank my Office of Product Safety and Security family because they have brought me in and taught me some really great stuff. And I'm thirsty, I'm passionate for security. I think you can tell that. So I challenge you to go out and find your Andi Kittelson and bring them along. Give them the training and upskill that they need to achieve this OT security world that's ever evolving. So thanks to my team, thanks to everybody that I interviewed, thanks for their time, and thank you for your time. I challenge you to go into the app and share your community with all of us so we can all continue to grow. Thank you very much. If you have a question, come on up to the middle.